Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a bit different. Like I promised you guys, this year is going to be completely different for the tours. We are going to be touring Anisha's property, but to give you guys a bit of insight about her, she grew up in Monaco. She's got experience living in Scandinavian countries, living in London, working in marketing. Her story is incredibly inspiring, and when you see her property, you will feel it. Every single detail has been designed by her. You can literally feel her personality through the home. She designed this property with her husband, and I'm extremely grateful that she's allowed us in to show us this beautiful spectacle that she's created.
Hi Luxe List, so excited to have you guys. I'm Anisha and welcome to my home. So as you can see, it's very neutral tones. I love working with just a very neutral palette and then using like a little bit of color on like accessories, as you can see over here where there's just a little bit of pop of color. I played a lot with different textured paints in this house. So as you can see here, it's very industrial looking with this textured paint, and then I wanted to mix it up with more of a classic design, so I took the classical moldings and incorporated with it. I actually had seen this in a place in Paris where they mixed the two concepts together and I absolutely loved it. So I tried to replicate it. So when it comes to staircases, I have an obsession. I just love staircases. I spend so much time designing what exactly I want to do with it. This is the only area in the house where I do have a little bit of a ceiling height. So I really wanted to accentuate that with these massive panels and then again mix it with the textured paints and use the lighting to really accentuate the textured paint over here. I paired it as well with this marble. That's again really neutral but still busy, and I just felt like it all really came together well and just made it quite a nice feature in the house. So this is the living space. We fell in love with this house because of this view. When we bought it, it was a completely abandoned house and the trees and the garden was just all over the place. So we actually had to go through the wilderness to see it. And when we did, we just knew that this was the one. So as you can see, I've kept all the windows really as big as possible. So this whole space has access to the view. Over here, I have my formal seating area. So this was a main hosting area. We love entertaining, so this space was really important to us. Everything in this area has been custom designed for the space. So I work with Sharon from Design House, who I'm absolutely obsessed with. And together we came up with this kind of geometric concept couch, as well as these chairs that I had seen on Architectural Digest that just I was obsessed with. So we came up with this concept for this space, which is a bit of an awkward space, but I really think we made it work. I love travertine. I love the roughness of it, the stone, just the way it looks. So I added that piece over there. And then I designed this. Basically, this wine wall took me, I think, 10 different suppliers. And it was just such a headache to get it out of my head and actually create it. I basically needed to reinforce the walls for it because wine is actually very, very heavy. I needed to incorporate cooling system inside and then as well just get the racks looking exactly the way I wanted to and make it look aesthetic from both this side of the room and the other side of the room. So this was a bit of a headache, but I managed and I'm so happy with the results of the product. I want to give more attention to the staircase. I did leave this whole area empty so that we could really draw the attention to the staircase. And as you can see, I gave the effect that these panels were going from the bottom all the way to the ceiling. Here with the textured paint, you can actually see it even more defined. And then you have a potter plant over here. My husband is obsessed with plants, so he said we have to have a real tree in the house. And then when it comes to every area, you do need a little bit of a cozy nook area to watch TV. So I tried to make this a little bit more intimate. I tried to make this a little bit more cozy and homely. And so I have the TV inbuilt in this unit over here, trying to make it as invisible as possible. And then here I've used the same accent of marble as I did on the staircase, tying it all together, and a little bit more pops of color with my accessories from Gosha. I'm absolutely obsessed with Gosha. I think they just make the most incredible pieces, and they're all dried flowers, so they just last all year long, and I'm just really happy with what he did. Speaking of pops of color, I have to show you my pièce de résistance. This is the only piece of furniture I use color with, and I'm actually really happy with. Here is my pièce de résistance, my only piece of color in the house. I absolutely love this bed, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. So I might be playing around with colors more in the next house. Let's see. I paired it with these tables that I absolutely love, and I just love the difference in color. This room just feels very different from what I usually do, and I'm really, really happy with it. It's a perfect guest room. I feel like it feels like a little bit of a hotel vibe, and I want that for my guests when they come and visit me. So this is the area that we use the most. These sliding doors, actually, really funny story, were a very big debate between me and my husband. I wanted to keep the space completely open, and that was just a non-negotiable. My husband said we have to have these sliding doors. And you know what? He was completely right. It just gives that separation to the space if we need it, but at the same time, it's just a really nice design element as well. So it turned out really nice. Then here we have our dining table, right parallel to our show kitchen. I like to utilize the space a lot if we're cooking. I like for us to be able to be sitting as a family and just enjoying the space together. So it turns out to be a space that we actually really, really use. And again, it's just with this incredible backdrop of the lake, which just makes it feel a lot more spacious and airy, and just peaceful with, you know, the birds chirping and the water movements and everything. It's just really, really nice. And now to the funnest area of this house, the bar. So this is probably where we spend the most time when it's adult time. I have 2 children. I just had my youngest daughter, so I was very, very excited to start using this space again. This marble here is called Calcutta Viola, and I just had an obsession with using this specific marble, which is really, really difficult to find here in Dubai. So I probably went to 15 different stone yards looking, and I eventually stumbled upon a couple of left pieces of this Calcutta, and I just took every single piece for this area. And just to touch upon the kitchen a little bit more, all the appliances are Miele. I've used this quartz stone from Decton, which is absolutely incredible. It's heat resistant, it's stain resistant, it's everything. So you can really use and abuse the space, and it'll just always have this perfect finishing look to it. I kept this area, because I use such a loud marble there, a little bit more quiet, a little bit more subtle. And I just think the pairing of the two just ended up working really well. So I was so happy with it. And then behind this door, we have the staff area. We have another dirty kitchen because, you know, when you live in Dubai, you do have a little bit more staff, so you'd like to have an area for them. And also a little bit more of the heavy cooking is done over there, and then followed by their staff room. So they have a little cozy corner of their own. So here we have our upstairs area. Have you met Marco? As you can see, he also blends in perfectly with the house. So let's go into the master bedroom. So this master is actually quite a big master bedroom. I have here a little office for my husband. He takes a lot of Zoom calls and stuff, and it just drives me absolutely mad. So I just wanted a private area for him to work when required. And then we come to the his and hers wardrobe. This is his. As you can see, I've stolen a little bit of it, but 80% I would say is actually his. Here I used these doors that have these LED lights put into it. And I feel like he's quite neat, so we were able to incorporate glass doors, which just I feel is very modern. And then over here we have the her section, my favorite. As you can see, I have a little bit of open shelving to just kind of feature things like my bags, which make me always happy to look at. And then here I put a lot of mirrors to make this area and space feel a lot bigger and incorporated a little bit more of the same marble that I've used all around the house. And then through here comes the bathroom. Here again, I've incorporated the same marble finishings just to tie everything in together. And I thought that the marble worked really well with this tile. If you notice, this is the same tile that I've used on all my floors downstairs, and I just absolutely love it. They are mega slabs. They are 3 meters by 280, so they are huge pieces to work with and very fragile, but the effect just makes it look very seamless. And then this bathtub, it's always nice to have a bathtub, especially I have 2 little girls, so we use the space a lot, and just a lot of light comes into this room, which is really, really nice. And here we have the master bedroom with my vanity. It's always so much fun doing my makeup and hair over here. I've made it as big as possible so my girls can hang out with me. They actually sit right here. And really this is where we spend a lot of time when I'm getting ready in the evenings just before their bedtime. So I really like how I made it as big as possible. And here I've put the bed facing the lake view. It's really nice to wake up to in the morning. And Jumeirah Islands has a lot of little exotic birds, so in the morning it's really cute. We hear all of these little chirpings and we see all of these cute little birds flying around. So it's just really, really nice. I always love having a little bit of a landing area upstairs. I just feel like it makes the upstairs area just a lot more spacious. And I've just made it very cozy. I put a TV, and it turns out that we use the space a lot more than I expected, so I'm really happy about it. And here we have my daughter's bedroom. I'm not a big wallpaper person, but I did want to use it in her bedroom. And I found this one. I thought it was quite subtle and it just worked really well with the space. I love the idea of putting it into a molding and framing it. And I think it turned out really well. When it came to the bed, her favorite color is pink. So I had to incorporate pink into it. And then I added these little scallops on the sides. I'm really in love with scallops for children. And then her bathroom. I think this is every girl's dream bathroom. I found this pink marble that's just absolutely stunning. And it's just very discreet at the same time. It's almost a little peach, so feminine but not too feminine. I used it here for the bath area, for the shower area, and the vanity. And then I ran out of it, so did not know what to do. I ended up finding this tile, and I just think they meshed really well. And then the walls are lime wash. I love the mix of lime wash and marble, so just all 3 materials just really blended well, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Here we have a guest bedroom upstairs. I really wanted to make this feel like a little bit of a hotel room and really feature here this incredible view. So as you can see, you just wake up and you just have this stunning lake view. It's almost a little bit like a glass room with windows everywhere. Again, I used the see-through doors for the cupboards, and I just feel like it feels very spacious and open, yet it's quite a small room. So the house is a 5-bed. The last is my youngest daughter's bedroom. She is 6 months old now. And again, I wanted to play with wallpaper here. So I did the same concept of using wallpaper and framing it with the molding. And she as well has this really, really nice view where she spends a lot of time just outside and looking at the birds, and just the water is very soothing. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. Eventually they will share rooms though, so they'll both move into that room. Here we have the outside space. We use this outside space so much. So the first thing you might notice is the shape of it. And the reason being is that basically in Jumeirah Islands, all the clusters are made into circular shapes. So every house has a different angle basically. And we got this kind of pizza slice angle, which is why it's made this way. But that also made it really fun to design because I could make a pool that had a little bit of a different shape, and I could add elements to it, like this floating area for the sunbeds and this bar overlooking the lake view. So we had a lot of fun just designing this. I also like pools that have mixed materials in it. I love pools that have a specific design inside of it. So for this one, I wanted to do a turquoise color look, which is actually the same tiles I've used for this space, and it just continues into the pool, and it gives this beautiful turquoise color, and mixed it with this elegant marble tile, and I just feel it makes it look very special and different. And then I have a sunken seating area. We are obsessed with sunken seating areas, and this is actually where we sit the most, even though I do think the design of that area is more beautiful. This is where we really spend a lot of time. I was in the south of France when we were designing the space, and so the color yellow just was on my mind. So I wanted to bring a little bit of yellow. I wanted to put some olive trees. I wanted to put a little bit more color over here. So with the plants and everything, I just gave it this little feel of south of France, which is actually where I'm from. So this feels very at home for me. And then over here is where we do most of our hosting. I love hosting, so I love having a long table where everyone can eat. So I've made a dining table that fits 22 people, and then my bar area and a big seating area over here. I used a tile that's very similar to Calcutta Viola. Marble is never really used for outdoor spaces because it will get ruined. So here I put a porcelain tile, and then I paired it with this burgundy tile underneath, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with the look of it. And I was so happy with the results of it, so I actually did the same for these tables. And if you see, it's the same tile as the bar with these legs that are made in burgundy, and I'm really, really happy with the look of it. If you guys have seen Kim Kardashian's house, then you've seen her couch. I loved it. It was this massive circular couch that she put in her living room area, and I just wanted to do the same. So I made this outside furniture piece inspired by Kim K, and it is this massive, big, round sofa, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with it. I designed it with Design House again, and she's just so much fun to work with. We actually really like doing a lot of outside furniture together, so every one of my houses has been designed with her, and we've just made some really fun pieces, and I'm always really happy with how it turns out. Thank you, Luxe List, for coming and touring my home with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did, and I hope we'll do many more houses together.